Hello Year 4. This video is for the 28th of January and this is for the children who have the Year 4 maths booklet. Now I just want to give a shout out to Isabella and Riley, not just for their Monday maths, even though that's what it says there, but for their maths that they have sent in all week this week. Okay, they've done a fantastic job. They've tried their best with all of the questions that they have been given, so well done. I would also like to say thank you to the children that have been sending in their challenges. It's been great to see. So children like Ben Martin, Taylor, Isabella, you're doing a fantastic job and well done for taking on the challenges. Let's see if anyone else can have a go at doing the challenge. Okay, so before we start today, I've just got a quick activity for us. I want you to use the greater than, less than or equal to signs to make these statements correct. So the first thing you would have to do is work out the answers to these multiplication statements, and then you need to add the correct symbols. Now I've added our crocodiles on just so we get a better idea of which direction we need to go. Now we know that the crocodiles, so our greater than and less than, they're always going to go towards the bigger number because they're hungry. Now you have to remember that these crocodiles don't eat much very often. So when they see a big number, they're going to gobble it up. So I want you to use the crocodiles to help you work out the multiplication statements and then add the correct signs to each question. Okay, so pause the video here, have a go, and then we'll share the answers in a second. Okay, so if you've had to go answering them, you will have found that 75 times by 100 is greater than 75 times by 10. 39 multiplied by 100 is the same as 39 lots of 10 and lots of another 10. And you would have also found 460 times by 10 is less than 100 multiplied by 47. So well done if you got your answers right, fantastic effort. If you didn't, just check where you went wrong and make those corrections before we move on. Okay, so we're just going to revisit some learning that we did yesterday. I just want to recap just so we can get a little bit more confident and so we can strengthen our understanding of answering multiplication questions. So our learning question for today is, can I use my multiplication knowledge to answer multiplication questions? So again, we've used the same learning question just because we're building our understanding of using different methods to support us when we're using multiplication. So I'm just revisiting some vocab that we looked at yesterday. Now I did use some of this vocab in the question earlier. So we've got times, multiply, lots of, groups of, array, and multiplied by. They all mean the same thing, which is 2 times. Very quickly going to recap factors with you. Now, a lot of you did an excellent job of these. Some of you struggled, so I'm going to give it another go at explaining it to you because we are going to look at something called factor pairs today, and I'll explain what they are later. So factors are a number of a number are whole numbers that divide exactly into that number. So to find the factors of a number, you're going to use your times tables knowledge to see which numbers divide exactly into that number. So we used the example of factors of 16 yesterday, and we found that factors of 16 were 1, 2, 4, 8 and 16. They all divide into 16 exactly. So they are whole numbers that will give you a whole number when you divide it by 16. Okay? So again, we start from 1 times something all the way up until the same multiplication statement appears. That's when you know you've got all of your factors, okay? So we've just quickly recapped factors, and then I'm just going to show you the steps for column multiplication again. Now, a lot of you were fantastic at doing this yesterday, so I hope that it makes sense again today. And I'll do the same as yesterday, where I'll answer one of the questions from each of the set of questions that you've got. So we'll go through them together, and then it's your turn to have a go on your own, okay? So remembering step 1, we're always starting in our ones column, and it is just simply 3 times 6. Your answer is 18, so you're going to put your 8 in the ones, you're going to carry over your 10 into the tens column, and you write it underneath your equal sign on your column method. Moving on to step 2, you're going to look at 2 times 6, and it isn't actually 2 times 6 because there are 2 tens, which means it's 20 times by 6, which equals 120. So you add your 20 to the 10 that you carried from your ones column, which makes 30, and then your 100 from the 120 gets carried into your hundreds column, okay? Now 6 times 1 we know is 6, but it's not 6 times 1, is it? Nope, it's 100 times by 6, which means that the answer is 600 because it's 100 times greater. You're going to add that 600 to the 100 that you carried off from your tens, which will make it 700. So your answer should be 738. Now that was a very quick explanation. Play it back if you need to, or revisit yesterday's video to help you, because I do go through it a little bit slower than this, okay? So question 1 is asking you to work out the answers to these multiplication calculations. Now you were introduced to 3 digits multiplied by 1 digit numbers yesterday, so I didn't tell you, I was trying to trick you just to see how you got on, but we'll have a go at A today. So the first thing I'm going to do is 5 times by 7. We know that this is 35, so I'm going to write my 5 and then add my 3 underneath. Now what haven't I added on top of my column multiplication table? What haven't I added? Something that I told everyone to do yesterday and Miss Prince has forgotten. If you said I haven't added my hundreds, my tens and ones, well done. Now make sure that you are adding these because these are there to help you. They help you recognise where your digits need to be. Okay, so let me just add my 0. Oh, there we go. My next one is 7 times 7. Oh, I've lost my mouse. Where am I drawing? So 7 times 7. Can anyone tell me what 7 times 7 is? I know that 6 times 7 is 42. So 7 times 7 must be 49. And I need to add my 3. So 49, 50, 51, 52. So I need to make sure I write my 2 here. And then I carry on my 5. Okay. So 100 times by 7 is 700. I need to add my 5. So what's going to happen there? So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means it's 1,200. So I need to add my 2 here. And then I need to carry my thousands. Therefore, I need to add a thousands column onto my place value. And then I add my 1 that I carried over. So my answer should be 1,225. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It is your turn now to have a go at answering the rest of the questions for question 1. Please remember to add your place value labels over the top, because as you can see I had to add a thousands to mine for A. So have a go, take your time. Okay. So it's asking you for question 2 to draw lines to join these factors of 36 to make factor pairs. Now we know what factors are, but we're not quite sure what factor pairs are. So factor pairs can be multiplied together to make a given number. So for example, the factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5 and 15. So the factor pairs for 15 would be 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. You can check this by multiplying the numbers together and looking at the answer, okay? So this is very simple. You're just going to pick out the pairs that make up 36. So what do you have to multiply together to get 36? So I can see straight away that I would match 1 and 36 together, because I know that 1 times 36 would equal 36, okay? Super simple for that question. Give it a go. If you need to use a calculator, use a calculator. But I think we're all superstars with our times tables, so give it your best shot. Okay, your last part for today in maths is to solve these problems. Now, some of you did a really good job of the ones that you had on Monday. I will go through A with you together though, okay? So, large boxes of eggs hold 18 eggs. Small boxes hold 6 eggs. Dean buys 3 large boxes and 2 small boxes of eggs. How many eggs does he have in total? So it is a 3-step. It is 3 steps to get your answer. So it's a 3-step answer that you need to break down in order to get your total. So for step 1, I looked at the 18 eggs and 3 large boxes. And I know that I would need to times 18 by 3 to get the answer 54. Step 2, I had to times 6 by 2 because small boxes hold 6 eggs and Dean bought 2 of them. So 6 times 2 is 12. My final step would be to add those 2 answers together. So 64 add 12 is 66. So therefore, Dean has 66 eggs in total. So you can see that I've underlined the key information, and then I have broken it down into 3 steps. Breaking it into steps will make it easier for you to tackle these questions. So give it a go. I've done the first one with you. I want you to have a go picking out the key information for B and C, underlining them, and then tackling the question by breaking it into steps. So chunking the question into parts will make it easier and simpler for you to answer, okay? Your challenge for today is to have a go at these 2 questions. So we've got a batch of 12 muffins here. Now Teddy bakes 11 batches of 12 muffins. How many muffins does he have altogether? So what do you need to do with 12 and 11 to work out the total number of muffins Teddy has baked? Part 2 says Teddy sells 5 batches of muffins. How many muffins does he have left? So the answer that you get from question 1, you need to use in question 2. So this again is 2 parts, and I've already broken the question down into 2 parts, but remember to use your steps to break it down to make it simpler for you to answer. So Teddy bakes 11 batches. There are 12 muffins in a batch. How many does he have altogether? He sells 5 batches of muffins. So what do you need to do with 5 and the number 12? And then what do you need to do with that answer to figure out the amount of muffins he has left, okay? As always, send in your work to the Year 4 email. I'd love to see who tackles this challenge. I hope that Ben Martin gives this one a go because I know he loves his maths. So please give it a try, Ben Martin. You're going to do a great job. And before we finish today's session, I want you to have a reflection about the one thing that you found hard. So when you've answered your questions, what was the trickiest thing? Was it a particular question? Was it a certain method? Why was it hard? So have a think. Feel free to let me know so we can address it in future videos. And as always, try your best, send your work, and we love to see what you get up to. And I will see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.